Released in 1987, RoboCop can be written off as a silly action flick. I mean, the name alone sounds like a Roomba with a badge. But as a kid, I didn't care. It had everything a little boy could ever ask for. Cops and robbers, robots, even bigger robots. A guy gets his junk blown clean off, and another one melts like goo, like a villain from a Captain Planet episode. But rewatch it as an adult, and you'll see something else. A movie that's not just entertaining, but perfectly engineered. Beneath the blood, bullets, and explosions, director Paul Verhoeven crafted a sci-fi satire that is still scarily relevant. Corporations running the police, digital surveillance, viral headlines, transhumanism, a world built on riots, corruption, and corporate profiteering. But we're not here to unpack the politics today. We're here to talk about the structure. Because RoboCop doesn't just work thematically, it works mechanically. Its story is built like a machine, and it's what makes it brilliant in its almost perfect symmetry. Let's hit the intro. Detroit, the near future. Crime is out of control, and the cops are underfunded, and the city's been sold to a corporation called OCP. Enter Alex Murphy, a straight-laced cop transferred into a high-crime zone. On his first day, he was brutally ambushed by Red from the '70s show.
You probably don't think I'm a very nice guy.
Murphy is blown to pieces, literally. But he doesn't die. Not exactly. OCP, looking for a PR win with a cost-effective solution to crime, turns Murphy into RoboCop, a cybernetic law enforcement machine with no memory, no past, just protocols. At first, RoboCop does his job. He stops crimes, arrests the bad guys, and becomes a media darling. But the cracks begin to show. Flashbacks, dreams, pieces of Murphy's human identity starts leaking through the circuitry. Meanwhile, OCP execs are fighting for control. Dick Jones... Oh yeah, side note, I love how everyone hits him with the hard D when they say his name.
Dick Jones.
Dick. Richard.
Anyway, where was I? Okay, Dick Jones wants to push his defective robot project,
Who cares if it worked or not?
while Bob Morton is trying to climb the corporate ladder using RoboCop as his golden ticket. As Murphy regains his memories, he uncovers corruption at the highest level. OCP isn't just running the city, they're helping ruin it. RoboCop's journey isn't just about fighting crime. It's about reclaiming his humanity and exposing the very system that tried to erase it.
You better take me in.
I will.
You've probably heard of symmetry in architecture or design, but RoboCop applies it into storytelling, using a literary technique called chiasmus. That's when a story folds in on itself, like a mirror. The events on the first half echo and are inverted into the second. Let's break it down. The first thing we see in the opening is the title RoboCop. And at the end, the last thing we see is the title RoboCop before the credits. On his first day on the job, Murphy enters the precinct and introduces himself.
Murphy, transferring in from Metro South.
And at the end of the movie, the old man asks RoboCop what his name was.
Murphy.
Dick Jones gives a presentation on Ed 209. He opens the door and reveals his masterpiece. Ed 209 walks in, intimidating the boardroom members. Dick Jones is giving a presentation when the door swings open, and RoboCop walks in, intimidating the boardroom members. Dick Jones picks up a chrome-plated Desert Eagle for the demonstration, and Dick Jones picks up the same Desert Eagle at the end. We have this amazing car chase sequence where one of the gang members was killed by a moving vehicle. The ending had another exciting car chase sequence that leads to the death of another gang member by a moving vehicle. Murphy is ambushed by the gang members,
Your ass is mine.
and we're introduced to Clarence. Clarence kills Murphy brutally. Murphy is ambushed by a gang member, but Murphy kills Clarence brutally. After his resurrection, RoboCop goes around cleaning up the city streets. At the end of the movie, the cops are on strike, so nobody's cleaning the streets. Lewis confronts RoboCop and tries to remind him who he is.
Murphy, it's you.
In the final act, RoboCop removes his helmet, and Lewis reminds him of who he is.
It's really good to see you again, Murphy.
In his attempt to arrest Clarence, RoboCop is met with a hail of gunfire by the bad guys. On the opposite end of the spectrum, after barely surviving his encounter of Ed 209, RoboCop is met with a hail of gunfire by the good guys. And here we are, the crux of the chiasmus. RoboCop arrests Clarence. He does his duty as a cop. Subsequently, RoboCop goes to arrest Dick Jones. However, his programming prevents him from doing his duty as a cop. He's also a product of OCP. Well, there you have it, the symmetry of RoboCop.
I bet you think you're pretty smart, huh?
RoboCop may look like a machine, but this film is anything but mechanical.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
It is built with intention, precision, reflection.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Scenes echo each other, themes fold inward. The man becomes a machine, only to become a man again.
I can feel them.
That's not just good storytelling. That's architecture. That's poetry. That's why this movie still hits harder than most blockbusters today. I'm VCR Guy, and this has been Very Cool Reviews. Please share, like, and subscribe. And remember, don't be mean, be kind, and rewind.